Hello, Geardo fans. Welcome back. This time, I don't have anything that I own to review for you, but what we are going to talk about is we're going to talk about some World War II items here. Currently in Normandy and checking out one of the awesome museums that they have over here. Let's talk about what a standard World War II layout would be for these soldiers, okay? Now, as you can kind of see this uniform, of course, they've got their standard, they've got their helmet, they've got their ammo strapped across their shoulder, they've got their rifle, maybe they've got a canteen somewhere back there, but they are laden down with as much ammo as they possibly can be. Now, certain soldiers had the opportunity of, if they could, they would get their hands on some additional equipment, like this guy right here, brass knuckles with a with your knife, and then on top of that you also had what we would call a glass breaker, but they would probably use that for some other items as well. As you can see here on the side, he's got his pistol strapped back there, and then in the back he's got a little flashlight, allowing him to use that in the dark. He also has his standard hand grenade right there, and this is what he would go into battle with. Okay, this is what a standard U.S. Pathfinder in Normandy would be utilizing. Now, there is a lot of different tools that these guys would be given. So this is their standard uniform. This is what they would have. They've got all of this, and then on top of that, maybe with being a Pathfinder, they are also given all of this. All of this is for communications equipment and all that other stuff. So you have flashlights, you've got radar beacons and antennas, you have signal lamps. So all this is meant to help ensure that the paratroopers, when they do land, that the landing sites are accurate. These Pathfinders, they go in there first. They are meant to ensure that the landing zones are good enough for either gliders to land in, for paratroopers to land in, and then once that's all good, they send back all that information and they push it out to everybody so that they know that, hey, this is a good thing and you can land here, all right? Then, of course, with some of the weapons that they're gonna have, all right, you've got your standard M1 Grand, you've got your Thompson submachine gun, and then you have this little M3 submachine gun, Colt 45. So that's what this guy is. So Colt 45, Thompson submachine gun. He was also shooting a 45 caliber, and then of course your M1 Grand, which is the 308 caliber as well. So this is what people for World War II would jump into and to ensure they could actually fight and win the war. Now, how did these guys actually get to where they needed to be? Well, this is what you're looking at. The C-47. The C-47 is a cargo plane that originally had purposes for civilian use. But, of course, when the Army, which at that point in time had the Army Air Corps, saw their usefulness, they said, you know what, we're going to go ahead and take this and we're going to utilize it for our purposes. Now, I did recently just learn that for Operation Overlord during D-Day, there was a briefing that was given that was told that any wings that did not have a black and white striped paint on those wings would automatically be shot down. That is how they were going to identify themselves in the air. If they did not have this pattern, they were going to get shot down. So make sure that you have that on there. So they were able to load these guys up in there. I believe it was 12 to 24 individuals at a time inside the cargo hatch that they would be able to put everybody in, and then once they got over target, they would jump out. As you can kind of see right there on the other side, they're loading everybody up in order to prepare for their mission. Now, let me show you a couple other things real fast. So here, for the parachutists, all right, for our airborne guys, originally they didn't have an actual uniform because the airborne was new. This was a World War II experiment that they wanted to test out, okay? So this is their uniform. They had football helmets and they had a freaking set of overalls that they had borrowed from mechanics. Now, they eventually found that, nope, this doesn't really work, so we're gonna change up the jumpsuit. They changed from the overalls and they moved to the M41 jumpsuit, okay? So this was the official jumpsuit developed for the parachutists. and was good for the time that they had. But, of course, everything ends up changing. So, at the end, this is what the true parachutist ended up looking like, okay? The jumpsuit changed again to the M1942 jumpsuit and a T5 parachute. So that thing right there. This is what they were wearing as they were going downrange. Now, downside to this entire thing, during World War II, when they were coming over and they were being dropped, the Germans had actually flooded the marshes. And because of that, when these guys landed, they were unable to unbuckle themselves. And a lot of these guys drowned just to the weight of the parachute coming down, covering them up. And they were not able to escape. Eventually, they were able to figure out that they didn't need a clasp, but they needed a buckle instead, and they were able to eventually fix that. I believe that was by Operation Market Garden. They had figured out, hey, don't use clasps, use a buckle of some kind. So that is what they were using, okay? So these parachutists risked their lives to go in behind enemy lines to ensure that they were able to get necessary roads and sites secured so that when the main force landed upon those beaches, they were able to actually push forward with little resistance. 101st, of course, had the responsibility of landing near St. Marincles and a few other cities and towns within the area in order to secure those back roads. Cherbourg was the actual target that they were wanting to cut off from the rest of the peninsula, because that was where the deep water port was. That's where they originally wanted all the shipping to go so that they could supply the troops. That didn't end up happening. The Germans sabotaged the entire seaport. So they ended up having to use Utah Beach the entire time to get all equipment pushed forward. So along with everything that they were wearing, here were some of the other weapons. We kind of already talked about the M1 and the Thompson submachine gun. But on here, there is the BAR. Okay, BAR was a Browning automatic rifle, 30 caliber. Only had a 20-round cartridge. So nothing too fancy, but it did pack a punch. And then, of course, you also have your bazooka back there. But in this case, it was the M1A1 bazooka. Mortars, grenades, smokes, bayonets, the 1911, all of these were items that were being used to secure and fight and collect roads and strategic points. Incredibly important stuff. So this one's going to be a little bit shorter today because there's a lot more we got to see. If you guys have the opportunity to check out my Instagram as well, all of this will be posted there along with some more pictures from the days and weeks events. Awesome. Thank you guys for joining.